Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you don't know who I am, my name is Joseph Tran, and I am a commercial editorial portrait photographer located in the Washington, D.C. area. On today's video, we're going to go over what type of equipment I bring when I shoot in the studio fashion photography. What type of camera should you bring if you're going to go shoot fashion photography? Now, if you're going to shoot in studio with strobes, with off-camera flash, any type of lighting, it doesn't really matter if you're using a crop sensor camera or a full-frame camera for most fashion photography, and that also applies to beauty photography. You're usually shooting with a much higher f-stop. For instance, like if you're shooting natural light and you're shooting outside, I think this happens a lot when people first get a camera and they get a fast prime. Like let's say you get your first 50mm lens, is f1.8. One of the best experiences as a new photographer is to shoot that lens at 1.8, just because f1.8 is so much faster than what kit lenses usually are. And let's say you have a kit lens and let's say at its fastest aperture it's like 3.5, and that's like on the wide end of things. Like you can't really zoom in for compression and get the same f3.5. That all changes when you shoot in studio with strobes, especially if you're shooting fashion photography or beauty photography, because typically, and this is not every time, but typically you stop down. And for me, I am shooting anywhere in the range of f5.6 all the way up to f11 and 13 if I need to get a lot of detail, say for beauty photography, and let's say you want to get all the details of the makeup and you're shooting really close, like on a 100mm macro lens, and you want to make sure that the depth of field from the front to the back of the image is in as much focus as can be. The higher the f-stop value, let's say you're shooting at like f16 or higher, the more light that you're going to need. So for instance, the light is coming from your strobes. You're gonna have to ramp up or increase the power. For lighting fashion photography in the studio, I like to use one light. I think using one light can give you a lot of different variety as long as you know where to position the light and how to modify the light. A lot of the photos that I shoot are with just one strobe, and I like to use a parabolic umbrella. It's a 72-inch silver umbrella. I use a diffusion cloth on top of that to soften the light even further. For fashion photography in the studio, one of the most important tools I use is a laptop. So I like to shoot what is called tethered, which is essentially running a USB cable from the camera to my laptop. I run software that enables me to view the raw files as I shoot them. So what this does is it helps me to see a larger preview image of what I'm actually shooting. So I can make corrections with lighting, I can show to the model or to the makeup artist and get some feedback. It really just helps the team understand the look and the feel and the mood that we're setting, and also to make corrections so that we can make the images better. For tethering, I use a tethertools USB cable because it's bright orange and it's high visibility. A lot of times in studio, there can be cables running all on the floor, and it just makes it safer for people to see that there is a cable that's connected to the camera, to the laptop. For software, I use Capture One, but you could also use Lightroom if you already have that, which I assume most photographers already have Lightroom in Photoshop. Capture One is a different software in that it does have different tools inside that Lightroom doesn't have. For me personally, I find that Capture One tethers much faster than Lightroom. So what that means is as I take the images, they appear faster on my computer than if I were to shoot them in Lightroom. I also prefer the way that Capture One handles the raw color process. Not only do the raw files look better through Capture One, but I find that the color grading tools within Capture One are superior to Lightroom. That doesn't mean that you can't use Lightroom to color grade or Photoshop to color grade. It is really just a personal preference for me, and that is completely up to you. I do recommend you go to Capture One's website and try the free trial and see if it works for you. I hope this video has been helpful for anyone getting into fashion photography in the studio. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them below. Also, please follow me on Instagram at jtran. And if you found this information useful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe below. All right, guys, until next time, peace.